This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland. Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe.
And I'm Simon.
And God, we've been gone for a long time. And in this episode today, we're going to explain what we've been up to and how happy we are to be back recording our podcast again.
Exactly. It will be either you who tell what we are up to, me, or
a certain special person who has now been born.
Yes.
We had our daughter in January. She's called Maeve.
Yes. And that's why we were quite busy the last few weeks.
Yep.
Or the last year or so.
Yeah, some months have gone by.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's with us right now, so if you hear any extremely cute noises, that's her in the background, not me.
Yes, so today we talk a little bit about that, and we have a very exciting new rubric we will have each time from now on, and also we give you a short preview how we continue in the future. And before we start, don't forget to join our Facebook group, which is called
Switzerland for English Speakers.
Exactly, and there are lots of nice members and discuss and ask questions and so on.
Cool.
Good, then let's get started. So you were pregnant.
Yeah, that's how it works.
So how was it in general, or generally speaking? What would you say, how was it in Switzerland particularly, obviously?
We wanted to say a little bit how it is kind of compared to the UK, and obviously this is our first child, but coming from the UK, you know quite a lot about how it'll go with the hospital appointments and the doctors and all the kind of expected procedure. But it turned out in Switzerland it was quite different. Of course, we had the whole layer of the pandemic on top, which made things even more different. And throughout this pregnancy, I was part of a Facebook group with mums in the UK, so I heard quite a lot about what was happening there. But I think the biggest thing that was really unexpected for me in Switzerland was how much choice you had about your pregnancy and your medical care and your birth and your aftercare, which I think was good and bad.
Yeah, so basically, when you find out you're pregnant, a long journey starts where you start to decide, do I want to have this doctor, this midwife, this whatsoever treatment, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and you basically have to find it all out for yourself.
Yes.
And I really didn't expect that. In the UK, you kind of ring up and then you're on a track. Obviously, you can do things differently if you want to, but it's pretty much set out. And here people are sort of, do you want a midwife? Do you want to go and see a doctor? Do you want this doctor? Do you want to go to this hospital or that one? And if you go there, it'll be like this. And if you go there, it'll be like this.
Yes, which gives you lots of options, but it's obviously, takes some time to... Yeah, especially if it's the first child.
Mm-hmm. And how do you hold down a full-time job while attempting to do that?
Exactly.
I managed for a while. Yeah, so that was interesting, but we found some really great people and kind of pieced all the puzzle pieces together and had this whole nice sort of team of people by the end.
Yeah, and how would you say afterwards, how was it?
That was also really good because, a lot of the experiences that I heard about in the UK were during the pandemic. You can hear her now. How cute is she? She wants to be in the podcast. And a lot of their appointments after the birth were really over the phone, and a lot of things got missed as well from what I was hearing in the UK. Because people were really afraid to have, people in the hospital or see people in person. But in Switzerland, anyway, in my experience, it was quite different. People came to our house all the time. We had regular appointments, regular check-ins. So I feel like we actually had a really good experience afterwards. Yeah,
and so we are definitely also going to talk about a few of these issues or things more in the future, but not only, don't worry.
Yeah.
But here and there, obviously, it will be a topic. What do you think was missing compared to the UK? Obviously, you don't exactly know how it would be there, but...
difficult to say. Nothing
you were
I
happy,
could
basically,
sort of put my finger on in particular.
Yeah. Only the thing that you have to look for yourself for everything, really.
Yeah, it felt a bit like, if you didn't know that you were supposed to do something, you could quite easily not do it. Yeah. I met a few other pregnant women in this time, and for example, a lot of them didn't know that you have to find your own midwife for after the birth. So by the time they found out, it was quite late. And then they really struggled to get someone, particularly if you're looking for someone who's an English speaker.
Yeah.
And luckily, by chance, we got ours really early, so we were lucky there.
And you find out things. Someone will tell you somewhen, but it's often quite late, or you have to find out yourself beforehand better. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And, picking your own paediatrician for afterwards as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, but luckily we got on that early too.
Yeah, so we will talk about a few of these things. So in case you will be pregnant in the future, you are prepared for it.
You.
But we'll have lots of other episodes obviously coming right up. We have a few planned, like for example...
Yes, some of you who've been listening to the show for a while will know that I'm also becoming Swiss. And I took the next step in this process during the pandemic. And so our next episode will be telling you about that and what happened. Because at the moment we're in the waiting period, so it's very exciting.
Yes, exactly. And we will obviously also talk about how to get a Swiss passport for a baby.
Yes, we've done that too. God, we've been busy.
We'll also talk about names and so on, because this is also a little bit different in Switzerland and the UK. So it's quite difficult to choose a name.
Yeah,
and
surnames was a
and
tricky
so on.
situation.
But like I said, most of the episode will not be about family and baby and so on. So don't be worried just yet.
Unless you want them, of course, which, she's always here.
Yeah, exactly. And we introduce an interesting, fun new rubric.
Yep, a new section of the podcast, which will come every time we make one.
Yes, because we've seen that lots of people downloaded our podcast about how to learn Swiss German and so on. So people obviously are interested in, and it's very difficult. And we can't really teach you how to learn it. But we thought we will at least give you each time a little bit of Swiss German, or like a word, a sentence, a saying, but it could also be a tradition, an event, or something special from Switzerland for you. So today I wrote it down, so I'm intrigued to see if you know what it is.
Do I have to say
It's only one word, and obviously it's Swiss German in my dialect, in Bernese Oberland dialect. So
the best kind.
Yes, exactly. So what's an Apfelgrübschi?
Apfelgrübschi. I'm going to say it's a maggot that goes inside an apple.
A what?
Am I right?
A what goes inside an apple?
A maggot, a tiny little worm.
And
you see them.
No.
A grübschi sounds like a worm.
Yeah, no. You can also, by the way, say just the grübschi. Then it can be any fruit, for example, a pear. And it's the thing that is left at the end.
The core. The apple core.
Yes.
So you eat all the bit around it, and the thing that's left in the middle is the Apfelgrübschi.
Yes, or the grübschi.
The grübschi.
There you go. You learned something today.
Brilliant. Now try and use that in a sentence.
That's it.
Cool.
I'm done.
So thank you for listening. And we'll be back soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening. Bye.
Bye.